Can you try to share, Jyoti, your screen?
Yeah, I can share.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice to see you sitting in a beach and doing the class today.
Okay, should I start, Brajesh?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, yes. Let me just open my PPT. Okay, guys. So hi everyone. This is our part 13 of AWS series, and in that we are discussing about AWS networking. Till now we've covered 4 sessions on AWS networking. Now we are left with 2 more sessions after today. So we'll in upcoming session we'll be talking about VPN connection and Route 53. Okay, so that would mark end of our networking sub series under AWS. Okay, and after that I'll plan on auto scaling. Okay, so here is the agenda for today. We'll be doing, I'm targeting to do 3 labs. Let's see how everything goes. So the first lab is in continuation with our previous lab, wherein we did VPC pairing between a region. Like in same region we created 2 VPC and we did a pairing. Today we'll create VPC in 2 different regions in same account, and we'll try to pair them up. And then second lab is on VPC endpoint, which helps you to connect to your other AWS services. Okay, so today we'll connect our instances which are there in our VPC to S3. And our final lab is on network ACL, okay, which is a kind of a firewall. So remember in our initial sessions we did that to add a firewall you have security group and network NACL. So the security group is at the instance level. Okay, but suppose there are 100 subnet you have created. Okay, and you don't want to go inside each of the instances which are there in your subnet and allow and deny certain things. So what you can do, you can leverage network ACL, which applies at the subnet level. Okay, so here is the step. I'll just walk you through the step and then we'll do practical as well. So what we are going to do, we are going to follow 4 steps for VPC pairing across the region. What we'll do, we'll create a VPC. Okay, and till now you guys know that whenever we create VPC, there are 4 things which we need to do. First, create the VPC. Okay, then you create a subnet. Third, you create an internet gateway, and fourth is you create a custom route table and associate your internet gateway. Okay, so we are going to create 2 such VPC, one in Ohio and another in Mumbai. You can pick any 2 regions. Okay, after creating the VPC and setting up all the things, we'll go ahead and create 2 instances, okay, in both the regions of, okay, and we'll in security group, apart from the regular RDP and all those things, we'll add one more rule, which is ICMP, which is for pinging. Okay, if you want to ping for that, the protocol is ICMP. Okay, so till now we'll, by step 1 and 2, you'll be having a VPC in a region with a instance. Okay, now the third step would be to create a VPC pairing. Okay, so for that we'll raise a request from one region and we'll go to another region and we'll accept that request of VPC pairing. Once we are done with the acceptance part, a fourth step would be to associate the VPC pairing to your CIDR block of a region, okay, in a route table. Okay, so let's get started. And as decided, you all can also work along with me. So let's pick Ohio. Okay. Okay. So under Ohio, what I need to do? I'll VPC. Okay. Okay. Click on your VPC. This is the default VPC. Remember, every region has a default VPC, but we are going to create our own VPC. Okay. So create VPC. My VPC for simplicity, let me name the region as well. Okay. CIDR block, common CIDR block which we have been taking. Let's take that only. Okay. And then create. This is our first step. Second is we are going to create subnet. Okay. So for this, we can create a single subnet. That would do, because we are just understanding how we do a VPC pair. You can pick any availability zone. Okay. And then created this, create subnet. Okay. Let me just recheck. Are we planning to create 2 instances? No, we are planning to create just one subnet. Okay. Let's name this subnet Ohio. Okay. Then third is internet gateway. We'll go ahead and create. This is default in an internet gateway. We'll create our IG in Ohio. And we'll create our route table. Okay. So see, again, by default, whenever you create a VPC, a default route table is created, which we call it as a main route table. That's why you see main as yes, but we'll go ahead and create our own route table. Okay. Route Ohio. Let's see, have I associated? Yeah, one thing I missed is, after you've created your internet gateway, you need to attach it with your VPC. Okay, attach to VPC. Okay. Now similarly, let's go to another region. So we'll pick Mumbai. Okay. Again, there's no restriction on the region. You can pick any. For this example, I'm picking Ohio and Mumbai. Okay. So we'll follow same steps. We'll go ahead and first create a VPC. Let's take this as, because we want, remember, there were certain um, best practices to follow for VPC pairing. First is this, that your CIDR ranges for both the VPC which you are trying to pair up should not be same. Okay, otherwise we won't be able to connect them. So their IP ranges should not be overlapping. Okay. So we've created VPC in Mumbai. We'll create subnet.
Can I ask a question? How can you make sure that both the ranges are not same?
Yeah, so the CIDR block which we are picking, Brijesh, see there I picked 10.0.0. Okay, that IP range. And for this I have picked 172.16. So remember, in our first session we discussed about private IP ranges. So take 2 different IP ranges.
Oh, okay. And it can be anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be anything. Valid and anything.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Subnet Mumbai. Okay. So we had picked 176. Sorry, 172.16.0.0/24. Okay. Now internet gateway. We'll create our internet gateway. Mumbai. Attach it to VPC. Okay. Right. Now next is route table. Go ahead and create a route table. Route Mumbai. So now this is done, right? Let's go ahead and associate our internet gateway to the route table and the subnet. Okay, so subnet, edit subnet. This is the subnet we are associating. Okay. And then let's edit the rule. I hope you guys follow what this means. So since whenever we are under our VPC or in a region, we know the IP addresses. So that's why we can always say, oh, this IP range. But with this 0.0.0, what does that mean? In short, is any IP address. Okay. So if your instance is trying to connect to a machine whose IP ranges are other than this, so what is the path which we are telling is follow the internet gateway, as in from internet we'll try to connect. Okay. Yep. Same thing we have to do it in our Ohio route table. We'll go ahead and associate a subnet to this route table. Okay. Then route, edit route. Okay. So VPC creation is done. Now we'll go ahead and create two instances, okay, in each of the regions. Okay. Let me put these steps in the chat also. Okay, so we've done first two steps. Now we are moving to, in the first two steps only, we are moving to the last part, which is of EC2 instance creation. Okay. Instance. We'll take Windows 12 only. Okay. Yeah. So we'll take our VPC since it's public subnet. So auto assign public IP enable. Here, see, for RDP, we already have. In which region are we right now? Okay, Ohio, SG. Okay. One more rule I need to add. It would be for ICMP, which is to ping any system. Okay. And for now, we are doing it from anywhere. To view and launch. Okay, let's create a new key pair, Ohio. Okay. Instance. Meanwhile, instance is getting launched in Ohio. We'll go to our Mumbai region and we'll create a EC2 instance there as well. Yeah, same thing. Mumbai. Okay, add a rule. Review and launch. Okay. This is for Mumbai. Okay, it's pending. Let's go here and see what is its status. Okay. Okay, so meanwhile, these two are getting up. Let's go ahead and perform our third step, which is we'll create a VPC pairing connection. Okay, so you can create this pairing in any of the region. Okay, so I am going and creating it in Ohio. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is go to VPC services. Yeah, you'll see a VPC pairing connection. Create pairing connection. Okay, so this is like Ohio to Mumbai. Requester, so this is my VPC. The CIDR block is 10.0.0. Okay, now the another VPC with which I want to pair, it's in my account. And is it in this region? No, it's in a different region. Okay, which region it is in? It's in Mumbai. Okay, let's search for Mumbai. Okay, and then we need to add a VPC ID of the Mumbai region. Okay, so let's go here. Mumbai. Okay, so I'll copy the VPC ID. Okay, create pairing request. So you see a pending, you'll see a pending request here. Okay, once it shows us pending request, we'll go to Mumbai and we'll accept this request. Okay. Okay, you see pending request. Okay, so from where we'll go and ahead and approve it. Remember when we were doing in same region, so in the same region we used to go and approve the request, right? But right now we are doing connection between two different regions, so I need to go to Mumbai. Okay, you'll see a request here. Yeah, so this is pending request. Let me just name it. Okay, action, and I am accepting the request. Okay, so let's go and see. Though we have created a VPC pairing, but we haven't updated our route table. Okay, so you'll see that we won't be able to connect from one machine to another machine just because we have not updated the route table. So till now we have done these three steps. We've set up our VPCN instance in Ohio, and then similarly we have done it for Mumbai. We have created a VPC pairing between these two regions. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect to the machines of these two regions. Okay, so we are in Ohio, right? Is it up? Yeah, it's up. Okay, so I'll go ahead, connect RDP, download. Okay, get password. So the key pair for this is Ohio. Okay, so Ohio, decrypt my key. Okay, Okay. Meanwhile, this is setting up. Let's go ahead and connect to the machine in our different region, which is Mumbai. Connect RDP, download, get password. Yeah. So remember 65 is for Mumbai and this is for your Ohio. Okay. Yeah. So let's try to ping the machine which is present in different region. Okay. So how do we do it? We'll go to okay. So we'll do ping and the private IP address of our second machine. Okay. Why private IP address? Because we are trying to connect privately. अगर publicly करना था तो we already have our what do you say, internet gateway. So it's 172.16.0.238. Okay. So 172.16.0.238. See, we are not able to connect. Similarly, let's go to the other region and try to connect. Okay, I see something on chat. I'll come to it. Let me just associate.
Yeah, Jyoti, I meant to say that I'm not able to see what you are pinging and all. Only browser is shared, so maybe
Oh,
must be
okay,
some
okay.
other window. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just, oh, thank you. Let me share everything then. Okay. So what I did, this part you got it. I downloaded the RDP client and from where should I show Faiz?
I think no issues. You are already going to do that for Ohio as well, right?
Yeah, I've done it already. So let me just repeat it once again. Okay. Okay. So you guys were able to create the 2 instances till now. Were you able to create that?
Yes.
Or should I wait? Okay. So now once we've created the instances, we are connecting to the instances. Okay. So the first instance I picked is this one, which is in Mumbai region. Okay. So you know how to connect, right? We have done those sessions. So that's what I did. I downloaded the remote desktop client, went to the Mumbai, connect. Okay. Password is there. Okay. Password is here. Okay. Yeah. So now we have connected to our EC2 instance of Mumbai. Okay. Same thing I'm going to repeat it for Ohio. Okay. So this is my Ohio. Now see, both of these instances are from my account, but in different region. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll see that whether we are able to connect to them privately or not, and the answer is no, because until we do a pairing between both these VPC, we won't be able to connect to them. Okay. Though if there is multiple instances in a same VPC, then we can connect from one machine to another machine. For that, no pairing is required. But whenever you want to access something from a different VPC in a different account, different region, or in a same region, you need to do a pairing. Okay. So see, if now I go ahead in my different machine, okay, Mumbai. Okay, so I'm going to Mumbai and I'm trying to connect to the system which is present in Ohio. Okay. So ping 10.0.0.200. This is the private IP address of my other machine. Okay. See, we are seeing request timeout. Same thing, let's do it there. We'll pick this private IP address of this region. Okay. And we'll try to connect. So it's command prompt. Okay. Ping, it was 172.16.0.238. Okay. So you'll again see request timeout. Now, how can we pair them up? Using VPC pairing connection. So we have already created the connection. We've accepted the request. Okay. So there is a connection between both of them. We just need to update our route table. Okay. So let's go to Ohio's route table. This is the route table I had created. Go to the routes, edit route. Okay. Now here I'll add the IP range of my other VPC. Okay. So it is 172.16.0.0. Okay. And if now my instance in this region wants to connect to an IP address which is of this range, they'll do it through VPC pairing ID. Okay. Save changes. Same thing, we'll go and do it in our Mumbai region as well. Now you understand why the IP ranges needs to be different. Okay.
Yes.
Pairing connection. Save changes. Okay. Now let's go ahead and repeat the same thing. See, now you started getting a reply. Okay. And here also you get a reply. So this is how you pair two VPCs of a different region. It's same as having it in the same region. Only difference is the accept and from where you raise the request for connection and from where you accept, it is a two different region. Okay. So if you're done, I'll move to the second lab. Just let me know in chat once you're done. Meanwhile, I'll disconnect my system. Okay. Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go ahead and delete those instances and whatever you've done, you can do the cleanup. Meanwhile, Faiz is working.
I am also done.
You're also done. Okay. Okay. So let's move to the next lab then. Okay. Yeah. So our next lab is on VPC endpoint. Okay. So what exactly we do in VPC endpoint? Yeah. So VPC endpoint, as you can see on the screen, it helps you your instances, okay, in a VPC. They help you to connect to other your AWS resources or services. Okay, so VPC endpoint enable you to privately connect to your VPC to services hosted on AWS. Okay, there was one more way by which you can connect privately. That was your NAT gateway. Okay, so what is the difference between NAT gateway and VPC endpoint? It's what do you say? NAT gateway is little pricey. It's on costlier side because you have to pay for the NAT gateway, plus you have to pay for the resources which are transferred. Okay, whatever you are sending from the internet or fetching from the internet. Okay, in case of VPC endpoint, you are not charged for VPC endpoint. Okay, that service you'll be charged for the information which you are transmitting. Okay, and that is very minimum. It's not as costly as that of a NAT. Okay, so I'll just repeat the line. VPC endpoint enable you to remember privately we are connecting. So whatever session we are doing, VPC pairing in same region, across different region. In fact, NAT gateway, remember NAT gateway was for connecting your private instances to internet. Okay, so for that what we did, we created a NAT gateway in a public subnet. Okay, and then we updated our route table and told that, okay, if private any instance in our private subnet wants to connect to the internet, that has to go through NAT. Okay, and NAT required a elastic IP. Okay, so similarly for VPC endpoint, we are privately connecting to other AWS resources, which is your S3, DynamoDB. Okay, and then they are of two types. One is the gateway, which helps you to connect to S3 and DynamoDB, and then there is interface type, which we'll cover in our upcoming session, wherein we'll cover about VPC private link. Okay, so just here, even interface type endpoint provides private connectivity to services powered by private link. So it's not for the services which are there in AWS. It's also helps you to connect to the other resources, okay, which are not there on your on premises. Okay, so this is how the architecture looks like. So you'll have this is your account, under that you will create a VPC. Okay, and you'll create two subnets. Okay, one is your private. Yeah, in fact, here we can do it both private, it's not required. Okay, so only difference you see is with VPC endpoint, what do you see is in a route table, you'll see an association like this. So any instance in your VPC, if they want to connect to S3, they'll do it through this endpoint which we have created. Okay, and your VPC endpoint, they are associated with your private subnet only, but your NAT gateway, if you remember, we used to connect it with your public subnet. Okay, so what this is the step. So first, again, what we'll do, we'll create a VPC, we'll create two subnets and internet gateway. Okay, and then we'll create our custom route table and associate our public subnet. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll go ahead and create two EC2 instances. Okay, one would be associated with your public subnet and another one would be with your private subnet. Okay, and now we'll create a VPC endpoint. Okay, and I'll show you, like when you create a VPC endpoint, you get an option whether you want to connect it by interface or a gateway. So we'll pick gateway and we'll associate it with our private subnet. Okay, and then these are just steps how to connect your EC2 instances using PuTTY, which I'll walk you through. So it's simple. You generate the when you go ahead and create your EC2 instance, that time you generate a key, right? So that is in .pem, if you would have seen the extension. So your PuTTY, they don't understand .pem, so you need to convert it into PPK. Okay, so there's this PuTTyGen is there, okay, which helps you to connect to your which converts your PEM to .ppk, and then you connect it to your EC2 instance. So before that, if PuTTY is not installed in your system, you can go ahead and install it if you're using Windows. But if you have Mac, then you don't need to do all these steps. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and create our VPC. We can pick any region. So for simplicity, let's go ahead and go to North Virginia. ठीक है. Create VPC again. Endpoint demo. Endpoint demo. Take any side up range. Hardly makes any difference. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and create two subnets. Sub1. Okay. Let's go ahead and create another subnet. This needs to be different than previous one. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll go ahead and first create internet gateway. Okay, attach it to the VPC. Okay. Now route table, we'll create two route table. Public RT. Okay, so since this is public one, I'll go ahead and associate internet gateway with this. And apart from that, we need to associate our public subnet. Oh, okay. Sub1, let it be my public. Okay. Private party. Okay. With this, I'm associating my subnet 2, and I won't add an entry for internet gateway. Okay. Yeah. So this step is done. Okay. We are done with the first step, which was create a VPC. Under that VPC, create two subnet, then internet gateway, attach internet gateway with VPC, create two route table. Okay. With one, I associated my subnet 1, and with another I associated subnet 2, and in one of the two I associated internet gateway. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create a two EC2 instances. Okay. So I'm taking Linux only. Okay. Sub1 was the public one. Okay. I should have named it as public private for easiness, but okay. Yeah. Anywhere. Okay, when meanwhile this instance is coming up, we'll go ahead and create another instance. Okay. So what all we have done the first step and partially second step, which is I've created EC2 instance, one EC2 instance, and I've associated a subnet. Okay, that's a public subnet because we have given a path of internet gateway to the route table, which is associated with this public subnet. Okay, now just let's name it as public for. Yeah. So with this, we'll associate sub2. And since it's private, so I won't enable the auto sign IP address. Sub2, sub2, launch. Okay. Let's choose existing key pair only, which was in Virginia key. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, they are coming up. Let's see what all we have done from diagram also. Okay. So what we have done, we've created a VPC. Under these two, these VPC have created two subnet. One was public and another one was private. Okay. So the public one, if you see the route table of the public subnet, it looks something like this. It has an entry for internet gateway. Then I created another private subnet. Okay. And if you see the route table of the private subnet, you'll see only line till here. You see only the first row. Okay. So if there is any instance in your public subnet, if they want to connect to the internet, they can do it. But the ones which are present in the private subnet, they won't be able to connect to the internet. Okay. Now, since they are not able to connect to the internet, and if they want to connect to S3E, how can we do it? Okay. So for that, we need to create what we call it as VPC endpoint. See, this is something which we need to create and associate it in the subnet 2, which is your private subnet. Okay. Yeah. So are these two machines up now? Okay, they are. Okay. So first, let's go and understand if we have not created a VPC endpoint. Okay, what happens? Are we able to connect to S3 instance? Okay, and what I'll do, I'll create one S3 bucket also. Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I've created a S3 bucket. Again, let's move to the diagram to understand what we have done. We have created this S3 bucket. We have created these two route table. In the first route table, you see the both the entries. In the second, you just see the first row. Okay, right? And yeah, internet gateway also. We have created everything. We have created S3 also. What is missing is your VPC endpoint. If this is missing, if any of your instance in your private subnet, if they want to connect to the internet gateway, they won't be able to do it. Okay, so we'll see same thing. Okay, for that, first let's connect to our, see, we cannot connect directly to our private instance, remember? So for that, what we need to do is, first we need to connect to our public instance, and then from there we'll connect to our private EC2 instance, because within a VPC you can connect from one machine to another machine. Okay, so let me see the public IP of this machine. Okay, so it's 34 dot. Okay, now let me open putty. First I need to convert this .pem to ppk. So what I'll do, open putty gen, load, let's put all files, North Virginia, open, okay, save private key, yes, and let's name it N Virginia key updated .ppk. This step is not required if you have a Mac, okay, or a Linux system, right? So I have Windows, so that's why I need to do all these things. Okay, so if you have Mac, then you know how to connect to a instance. Okay, so go to your terminal and just write ssh-i. Okay, this is the command you need to write, but ensure that to the .pem you've given the required permission. Okay, so follow the step which I'm doing if you are on Linux now. Okay, so I mean, if you have Mac. Okay, so public IP address, let me take the public IP address. Then if you have Windows, follow this step. If you have Linux, I'll tell you from where to follow me. Okay, user, okay, SSH auth. So we'll look for the ppk file which we had created. Yeah, so now I have connected to my public instance. Okay, if you are on Linux, what you'll why I'm saying Linux again and again. If you are on Mac, open your terminal, okay, and do this ssh-i, name of the PEM file. So for example, mine was northvirginia.pem. After that, do EC2 user @ public IP address. Okay, same thing, same step you can find from here also. Like if you go and see, do connect, here they have given steps.
Can you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah. So if you are on your Linux machine, Mac machine,
Yeah.
first go to the path where you've saved your .pem file. Okay.
Okay.
Then do this chmod 400 or 700. Give the right accesses. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
700
write
I
this.
gave. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
with this connected to your public instance.
Mhm.
But those who are on Windows, as if you have Windows, or you also have Mac with you.
I have Windows.
Okay, so you have to follow what I did. So the key which I had downloaded, right, while creating my instance, we had to generate a key. So that was in .pem. So what I did, I opened puttygen. Okay, I've loaded that .pem file and did save private key. So with that, I got .ppk.
Yes.
Right, and then I went to putty. Remember, should I do it again or you were able to connect?
No, I was able to do it.
Okay. So now we are on our, what do you say, public instance, right? Now I need to connect to the private instance, which I'll be able to do it. Now here, Faz, we need to do same thing what Faz, Brijesh did to connect to the Linux instance. Why? Because now we are on Linux and we want to connect to the Linux machine. Okay. So for that, what I'll do first, let's switch to the root user. And here, what I'll do, I'll create that .pem file. Okay. Because this file is on my local machine, right? So what I'll do, I'll copy the content of this onto this Linux instance. So This step even you have to do it, Brijesh. Okay. What we are doing is
Yes,
we are
yes,
trying to
yes.
connect to our private instance from our public instance. Okay. So we've created this PEM file. How did we get the content of this PEM file? From the one which we had already downloaded on our desktop. Yes, Faz, tell me.
Yes, means I am able to follow, but I think you should share the screen so that whoever will follow this recording, they will be able to follow.
Oh,
Because
what?
that's
Okay. Which part is not getting shared?
in that putty part. I am able to
Oh,
follow, but maybe someone
Yeah,
following
yeah, yeah.
the
Even
tutorial.
I was not looking at
oh.
the thing, and I was doing my stuff. So it's better
Uh,
if you can
okay. Okay.
share
Yeah.
again, share the full screen, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I'll do that.
Yeah, thanks.
Let me know when you're able to see Putty. You're
Yes,
able to see? Okay.
yes.
So I'll just repeat as mentioned for someone who is watching this recording. So what we have done till here. Okay, so we've created a VPC, created a public and private subnet. Okay, and then we have created internet gateway, right? So what I am doing is now first I am connecting to my public instance, and then from there public instance I'll connect to my private instance. So to connect to my public instance or Linux machine, we'll do it through Putty. Okay, so for that, first what you need to do is the key which you would have downloaded while creating this instance, it is in .pem. So you need to convert it into .ppk. So okay, how do you do that? Open PuttyGen, load that PEM file. So see, when you do load, it takes you to .ppk extension. Just do all files. Okay, select that .pem key. Okay, yeah, and then click on the save private key. So when you do save private key, now you can have .ppk extension, right, and name any key. So I had already done this step and I had changed it, saved it to nvirginia key update.ppk. Okay, once this part is done, go to Putty. Same step you can find in the documentation of AWS as well. Okay. Now what you'll do, you'll add the host name or a public IP address of the machine which was there in my public subnet. Okay. And it can we can directly connect to that machine because they are associated with your internet gateway and they have a public IP. Okay. So so first step is add the public IP address. Then in connections under username, write EC2 user. Okay. Then in SSH auth and browse your PPK file. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm connected to my public instance. Now from here, I want to connect to my private instance. So again, if I want to connect to any instance, I need .pem file. Okay. So first, so we don't have .pem file on this machine. We have in our desktop. So what you can do is you can create your file abct.pem, something like this. Copy the content of this key. Okay. And when you do right click, the key gets copied. Okay. Now let's go ahead and give it a write permission. Okay. Same step if you want to know. Okay. It's given in the AWS itself. Okay. If you click your instance, this private instance, right? And you click on connect. Here they have given, like if you want to connect through SSH client, what is it that you need to do? So it says open an SSH client. For us, it was Putty. Okay. Locate your private key. Okay, and then the key used to launch this instance. This is giving the name of your key which you would have generated. Okay, you go ahead and give the right permission to it, and then this is the command you need to write to connect. Okay. Why is it saying permission denied? File identifier not is no such file or oh
I think ABCD.
yeah it's ABC. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so now we are connected to our private machine. Remember, you see the IP 10.0.1.134. This is my private instance. Okay. Now let's see from here, are we able to connect to our S3 bucket? Okay. So what we can do is before that, first you need to do AWS configure. This is like through CLI if you want to access your services. Remember, there are 3 ways to access your services. One is through CLI. Second is through your management console through which, so like this is your management console, and third was your SDKs or CDKs. Okay, now I'm trying to connect through CLI. Okay, so for that what you need to do is you need to add your credentials, security credentials. Okay, so that's why I did AWS configure. Now it would ask me my security credentials. Same thing we would have done earlier as well when we were studying how to access S3 via CLI. Okay, now it is asking me for my access key and ID. So from where I get my access key and ID, go to your account. Okay, my security credentials, access key, and create new key. Okay, for you it would be like for first time if you're doing it would be generate access key. Okay, now show the keys. So this is the key I have. Default region, no. Okay, now let's see, are we able to see AWS S3 L? Are we able to see? We are not seeing any S3 bucket, but remember in this demo I did create one bucket. Okay, so now what you need to do to access the S3 from your private instance, you need to have a VPC endpoint. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a endpoint. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this step, this third step. Okay, so let me first show you the route table of our private. Oh, we were in Virginia, sorry. Yeah, see the route table of this private route table. Okay, so if you see, you just see a entry of this. Okay, that means from my private instance I can access only those IP which is of this range. Now if I want to connect to S3, what I need to do, I need to create an endpoint. Okay, so once I'll create an endpoint, I'll again show you this route table and you see there would be an association. Okay, so how do you create an endpoint? Again, search for VPC. At the left, you will see a endpoint. Okay. Create endpoint. AWS services. Okay. We are creating the endpoint for AWS services. Remember, we have two kind of VPC endpoint. One is interface and another one is gateway. Today, we are talking about the gateway. Okay. So I'll look for S3. Yeah. So select this one. the type, okay. Yeah. Select your endpoint, VPC, okay. And we need to associate our endpoint with the private subnet, okay. So the private one is this, the sub2 one was the private, okay. Full access, all these things are done. Now create endpoint. This endpoint is created. Okay. Now if you see the route table, what do you see? An entry here, right? What does this mean? If now my private, anything in my private subnet wants to connect to the AWS service for S3, okay, this is for S3, okay, it will do it through your VPC endpoint. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the same step which we did. Okay, see, earlier we were not getting the response of AWS S3 LS, but moment this association was done, you see a response here. Okay, now you can create bucket also, AWS S3 MB S3. Okay, and same if you go and see here, you'll see same bucket. See, so did you guys get this part, this demo, wherein if we had to connect to the S3 or DynamoDB, how we could do it? It's via using your VPC endpoint. And this is for everything in the private subnet, because for public, you already have access to internet gateway.
Yes.
Once done, you can go ahead and delete everything, okay? Else you'll be charged.
Yeah, of course.
I have got my fees waived off so many times, but now I think now they won't do it. Every time I say, oh, by mistake, I forgot to turn things off.
I have already had one such round, so I'm careful.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, guys, I have one more lab, but I think for today, 2 are enough. Like in next, I'll cover NACL and VPN connection. These two I'll
Yep.
cover in the next session. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, Jyoti, for the wonderful session once again. This is indeed very useful to actually do it along with you, and I'm sure people who follow the course or follow the entire webinar series will also be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you once again for your time today, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Okay, Brijesh. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.